Hi there, everybody. Mike Petras here, your star realtor of Star and the Treasure Valley, back with another episode of Mikey's monthly market updates for the month of September 2021. I look forward to diving into the information with you right after this. Everybody, welcome back on the other end of the intro video. Again, my name is Mike Petras. I am your star realtor of Star and the Treasure Valley. Welcome back to my September edition here of Mikey's monthly market update. And if you have seen my videos before, you do know what this video is designed to do. But if you haven't, just so that you know, this video is designed to go ahead and break down the data of what is happening here in the Treasure Valley as it relates to the real estate market. So if you're looking to buy or sell, this really will kind of break it down for you to make that decision as to whether or not it's time. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button before we go any further. Hit the notification bell too as well, because I do come up with other videos, educational videos, traveling the Treasure Valley, things to just kind of let you know what is happening here in the greater Boise area that really kind of impact what's going on. So let's go ahead and let's go into the PowerPoint presentation, and we'll break down the numbers and figure out what's happening this month in our real estate market. All right, everybody, diving into the PowerPoint presentation portion of this video. Again, if you've seen my videos, this does look familiar. I do break down all the data, put it in a visible graph here for you so that we can kind of go ahead and explain what the trends are currently looking like. Last episode, I went ahead back and went all the way back into 2020 to kind of really give you a picture of what's happening in both of our counties, at least the applicable counties really here in the Treasure Valley. So let's go ahead and let's dive in with Ada County, work our way along, and we can just kind of go ahead and see what's happening. But to recap from last month, as we go back to January of 2020, and if you've lived here in the Treasure Valley, you do know the equity gain that we have had actually for the last few years. Last year alone, we went up 23.7% in the nation, which was the highest across the entire United States in terms of overall equity growth that we got. In fact, I'd be willing to bet that if you went back and took a look at most data, we probably almost maybe set the bar close to maybe even history standards. So we did make a lot of money. Why? Because there's just a huge demand for everybody that wants to come out to the Treasure Valley. It still does exist. Check out one of my other videos to where I described and broke down what Fortune magazine was saying to kind of more or less put into an development why the demand is so high out here. And then, of course, with that demand just absolutely sucked away the supply. And again, as we know, supply and demand will just definitely bolster those numbers and create the equity growth that we had. So going back to the graph here in Ada County, as you can see, we definitely did skyrocket up. But as we get into May, June, July, August, and even September now of this year of 2021, you can see we kind of turn that corner. And I will honestly come out and officially say we have hit the plateau in itself. I'm sure that you heard me say that in some of my other videos too as well. But let me just go ahead and kind of show you a graph that just breaks it down to this year alone. As you can see, February, March, April, and then when we get to May, we kind of put on the brakes, okay? And we went to that plateau. We went down a little bit and our average sold price kind of ticked up a little bit, and now we're kind of going back down. And we'll just kind of see what's going to happen in the future, whether we're going to taper up that 3 to about 7% per year that we're kind of figuring is going to happen from here on out. Now, I'm sure a lot of you still out there saying, well, Mike, when's this market going to crash? I mean, it can't stay this way forever. Well, I'll tell you what, there's really nothing in the cards that are saying that it's going to happen. The financial institutions since the crash of 2008 have basically put a stranglehold on anything that can create a bubble in that aspect. But there is one elephant in the room that could possibly do it, and we'll just have to see how the institutions play it out later on down the road. But that is a video for another time. So please hit that subscribe button below. Again, click on the notification bell, and when that video comes out, please watch it and kind of make that determination for yourself on what you think is going to happen in this market. But of course, I'll have my opinion too as well. But our average sold prices, as you can tell, they've flattened out. Our median prices, you can see, kind of went up, but then have also flattened out. But remember, median prices is just what the middle house sold for in the entire list as compared to average sold price, which is going to be all of them averaged out together. If you're looking at the average list price, again, in previous videos, you can see some spikes, but that could be possibly because more million-dollar properties came on the market, or people were just asking astronomical numbers for their house and just not getting it. Okay, but as we move along, let's talk about inventory. That's the other big giant thing right now. So for buyers, this is where you're going to want to pay attention because inventory has gone back up. We had some good inventory back, if you look, in May of about 2020. Okay, but then we see that just the solds totally picked up here and then came back down. So it's just absolutely sucking the inventory out of the Treasure Valley, which created that 23.7% growth rate that we had. In fact, actually over the last few years, the craziness. But you can see that the inventory is now actually kind of risen up to a level again. But the demand, a lot of people are saying, well, inventory. Well, for buyers, it's great for you because it gives you more options now. And the days on market and the competition, the fierce competition, really just kind of is subsiding. So it's making it easier for you to go back into the market and find the house that you were looking for. But the demand is still there, as you can see within the sold. So we're actually kind of creeping back to what is becoming on the listing. So even though the listings and the inventory are coming in, we still have the demand. So again, if that demand fell off for some reason and the inventory just went through the roof, then we would probably see a dip in our prices. But we just haven't seen that. So again, we're kind of plateauing. We will see what happens in the future as this goes along. But what to kind of keep in mind from this is, though, even the inventory has come back, days on market's increasing, all of that, the demand is still here in the Treasure Valley. People still want to move here. And if we're looking at the days on market, you can see it as we taper off into 2021. Our days on market are returning back to where we were back in May of 2020 when we had inventory back in the market. So again, buyers, if you got discouraged because you lost a bunch of offers and you were fighting with 20 some odd plus other families for this particular property, those days are really over. If you think the prices are going to go back down, that we're going to crash, again, it's just not in the cards. And the other thing that you have to look out for right now, because the Fed was recently talking about a teaser that the rates could be going up. So again, for every point that the rates go up is another 10% to your mortgage. So think about where the pricing is at right now. Think about what I'm telling you as to that this market's not really indicating any crashes, but inventory is coming back up. Prices will still probably steadily rise as we go along. And just kind of keep that in mind, buyers, that don't really take yourself out of the game right now. If you have the means, jump in there, go see what's available. Sellers, as we kind of dip along, the more inventory that comes on, the harder it will be to sell your home, the more competition that's going to be out there. But we'll address that a little bit as we go in this video. But just kind of diving in, our days on market is going up now that more inventory is on the market. And then if we take a look at our cancels and expireds again, we did kind of dip down. There wasn't a lot of cancellations in January, February. Of course, inventory has to play into that, plus some other things. But most people are selling their homes, and most people are properly pricing their homes to be able to sell still in this market. Canyon County, again, going all the way back to January of 2020, we can see that rise that we were going up until we got to, again, about May of this year, and we've kind of starting to turn a corner. Maybe a little bit more here on our average sold price for this year of a gain in Canyon County because it's a bit cheaper than what we're going to find in Ada County. Of course, the median price in Ada County is a lot higher than Canyon County, which makes the Nampa Caldwell areas of the Treasure Valley a lot more popular for somebody that's trying to come in and save money on their home. As we're looking into just what's happened in this year, if we look at our average sold price, you can see we've still kind of ticked up. So we do got some equity growth still happening here in Canyon County. So still haven't quite hit that plateau yet. Maybe still going to kind of inkling on until it finally will. We'll just have to keep tracking the numbers and see what happens with that. And again, median price, as we can see, it kind of flatlined a little bit. But again, that's just taking the middle price, not the overall average. And as we can see, our average list price too as well, not too many $1 million homes that could possibly spike it up like we did in Ada County, because Canyon County just really doesn't have them. I mean, they exist, but not as much as like, per se Eagle or the Star 950 area. Okay, moving along. Again, same kind of pattern that we had for our listings and solds all the way back from January of 2020. Around August of 2020 is when everybody kind of came in, bought up all of our inventory, which created that just absolute equity jump. And then as we can see now in 2021, again, inventory, and especially in Canyon County here, you can see that the inventory has definitely gone up. But again, we can kind of see the trend of what's happening with the solds here, everyone. The demand is still there, even though the inventory is kind of creeping up. So in Canyon County, you can see that demand is kind of leaving a bit of a gap from what is happening with what is actually, listing out there for sellers. Again, a little bit maybe more critical for you to kind of think about, well, where's this trend going to go? How is the gap really going to spread? Because again, that just means more competition for you to have to sell your home. Days on market, again, same kind of trend. It is popping up, getting back to, say, levels that we saw back in October of 2020. But more inventory, buyers, you're not going to have to go out there and fight as hard as you did back in the past. And we, as I mentioned, with what's going on in Ada County, same kind of strategy applies. Interest rates could be on the rise. Prices can still be on the slow rise, but the inventory is there. You're not going to have to struggle and fight as hard. So buyers, if you are on the fence, honestly, I think this is your window. Time to jump into the game and keep going and be able to find that property that you were looking for. Cancels and expireds too as well. Again, kind of staying across the board. Maybe a little bit more canceled in August and September than we're used to. So maybe people in Canyon County were wanting to pull their properties off the market. Maybe they got a little bit of cold feet, weren't exactly quite sure of what they wanted to do when it comes around to the sale of their house. But expireds, too as well. Most people were properly pricing their homes, not very many of them, and they were selling. So the expireds are generally when somebody's really kind of holding on to their price point and their contract expires. So there's our snapshot basically as we go along of what is happening in the Treasure Valley. So let's go ahead and let's recap here. Again, buyers, as mentioned, I think this is a perfect time for you to jump into the market. Interest rates are still low. The Fed is talking about a teaser. If the Fed does raise the rates, again, for every point that they raise the rates, you can anticipate about an extra 10% that's going to be added to your mortgage. So already what you might figure costly home prices plus interest rates on the rise could maybe put it at a stretch for you. So talk to a mortgage professional today. Talk to them and say, well, how does this process work? From start to finish, what kind of rates, what do you think could be when we actually lock into our contract, and just kind of go from there. So if you do need a great mortgage professional, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to give you over to an awesome mortgage professional, one or two. I got choices for you. So give me a call, 208-715-7827. But also prices, again, more inventory is coming onto the market, which is good. You're not going to have to fight for these houses like you were before. So the discouragement is almost gone, and you'll be able to find that house. But also get in too, before prices still kind of taper up, because they will go up. And again, if you're waiting for that crash, in my opinion, you're still going to be waiting for that crash, and then it could really kind of go out of reach. So if you are on that fence about buying, I highly say talk to me, talk to a mortgage professional, and get into the game. Sellers, let's go ahead and recap for you. Inventory is on the rise. which means more competition for you. If the interest rates also raise, it's also going to pull buyers out of the pool, which is going to create even more inventory, which is going to make it even harder to sell your home and maybe even could devalue your house a bit, all depending on how much inventory really hits back onto the market. So sellers, if you were really on that fence, or if you were maybe cautious about making a lateral move, well, maybe it's time to really kind of revisit that and think about it, and give me a call and we can go ahead and discuss it and discuss all sorts of different options. But as the inventory rises, just keep in mind your house will sit for longer. There'll be more competition, less buyers on it. So the days of being able to get away with, having appraisal contingencies waived and inspection contingency waived, and just the overall crazy seller's market has definitely cooled down. So if you are thinking about selling, I would say consider it sooner than later, because the tide of this market is definitely changing. Well, thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate you taking the time again to join me on another episode of Mikey's Market Monthly Update for the month of September 2021. Again, I do have these videos coming out every single month that go ahead and break down what's happening here in the Treasure Valley. Plus, I have other educational videos. I have Traveling the Treasure Valley, which just kind of shows you what's going on around here. Also, to where I interview awesome restaurants, nightlife, recreational activities. The list goes on, and really hit that subscribe button so that you can see the videos that are constantly coming out. Hit the notification bell too as well. And then also below in the description, I have my brand new relocation guide. So if you are thinking about moving from out of state here to the Treasure Valley, that is your guide to let you know exactly what is happening here in the greater Boise area. Please feel free to share this video. Feel free to share the relocation guide as well. And everybody, I honestly just want to say again, thank you so much. My name is Mike Petras. I am your Star Realtor of Star and the Treasure Valley. I look forward to the next time we speak. You can reach me at 208-715-7827. Thank you so much, everybody. God bless. And until the next time we speak, have a great one. Bye-bye.